Today I'm making tart Tatin using the recipe from a pressure test from MasterChef Australia Season 1 Episode 13. Apples, caramel, puff pastry, and a touch of cream. What could be better? Honestly, this recipe is so simple that I don't think I can even fit everything I want to say into the footage I have. To start, grab 3 to 5 apples, depending on the size of your pan and apples. Now we'll use pre-made all butter puff pastry, which will make this process about 20 times faster and easier. Then grab a lemon, we'll juice it later, 110 grams of sugar, 20 grams of butter, and keep some whipped cream for serving. At the same time, preheat your oven to 200°C or 400°F. Now grab a couple of large bowls and a cutting board, start peeling the apples, then cut them into quarters, remove the cores, cut each quarter at the core so it has a flat side, and toss those quarters in a large bowl with about 2 tablespoons of lemon juice and 1 tablespoon of sugar. Grab a 20 cm or 8-inch cast iron pan. This will be our tart pan, so it's really important that it is oven safe. Now moving on to the butter caramel. Melt the butter in the pan, and once it's melted, add the rest of the sugar. Wait until it melts and starts to brown. This part can be tricky because the butter also browns, so it's hard to tell whether it's sugar or the butter changing color. So I actually messed up here a little bit. I stirred the sugar too early and it crystallized, but I just let it sit for a bit longer and it eventually melted again. So yeah, don't panic if that happens to you. Once you've got a rich dark brown caramel, it's time to add the apples. Keep the low heat on and place the apple quarters into the pan. Rounded side goes down. Arrange them in a circle and you will see here if you need to add more apples. I had to cut a couple of extras. You want all the gaps in the pan filled. Cook the apples over medium heat for about 10 minutes until the caramel is bubbling up in the pan. Shake the pan occasionally to prevent burn spots or gently twist the apples. We don't want them to get too soft though, because they will continue cooking in the oven later. When the apples are almost ready, cut out a 22-23 cm or 9-inch circle of puff pastry. It should be larger than your pan, just slightly. Mine was a bit small, so I had to stretch it a little bit. Lay the pastry over the apples, tucking any edges down around the sides of the pan. Once it's done, also poke the dough with a knife so that the steam can escape during the baking. Place the pan in the oven and bake for about 25 minutes or until the puff pastry is risen and golden. The pastry should be dry and flaky. Let the tart rest in the pan for 10 minutes after you take it out of the oven before carefully flipping it onto a serving plate. That part was definitely the scariest because you never know if it's going to come out in one beautiful piece. But it looked gorgeous, honestly. Those caramelized apples are to die for. Now I'll quickly whip a bit of cream to serve with it and start eating while it's still warm. You can eat it cold too, but I think it's so much better warm with some cream or a scoop of vanilla ice cream. Overall, there is nothing better for me than a big pile of caramelized apples with a flaky crust and a bit of cream to tie it all together. I actually ate the entire tart myself. No regrets. I absolutely recommend everyone try making this. Once you've mastered it, you can experiment with other fruits or even vegetables like onion or tomato. You can also make your own puff pastry if you're feeling extra fancy. And that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again on my channel.